Welcome to another podcast about geek culture in a medium already saturated with everything nerds love and crave. It's the Lunatic Parade Podcast. Fuck this, let's do it! Do it!
It works better that way.
All right, peripheral character. The Lunatic Parade Podcast brought to you by First Table Gaming, and we're recording.
Yay!
That's right. Here we are. I'm Curtis Mead. We're here with Trent Raber. Say hello, Trent.
Hi.
Bob Van Zyl.
Howdy.
And our special guest today, John Etzweiler. Say hello, John.
Hello, John.
There we go. We're rolling.
Are you hearing everything good, Michelle?
Yep.
We got my lovely fiance Michelle running the podcast today, so this should be interesting.
That's right.
I've authorized her to throw little things at us if she needs to. So be prepared to get hit in the face with dice or gravel or feces. Any of that can happen.
I think we've all proven at this point we have extraordinarily thick skulls.
I think so too. I have to agree. 100%.
We did have a D30 embedded in a wall between us.
How did that? You want to talk about that? What happened there?
It's kind of traumatic.
Yeah, that happened at John's house, didn't it?
And Trent and I was a little off task during the gaming session, and Captain John over there winged a D30, and both of us noticed it in time and dodged, and it embedded in John's wall.
The two large mammals made their dexterity check.
What? That's kind of.
Make it, I just missed.
Oh, is that what happened? So you fumbled your ranged attack, is what you're telling us.
Got your attention.
That's a good lead into today's topic. 30-sided die. Now, that's something from second edition? Where does that come in play? When do you use a 30-sided die, John? I mean, when you're not throwing it at people.
Well, that's usually what it's used for, but it's used for those impossible rolls. When 20 wasn't enough, you could roll a D30. You could still fuck it up and get a 1 to 20, or you could do really well and get a 21 to 29.
So is it for like DC checks that are above a 20, essentially?
Well, it was more or less something that we threw in because there is no real rules for 30-sided die in D&D.
So the 30-sided die was kind of more created as a novelty item, is what we're saying.
I'm not even actually sure where it comes from.
I believe it was
games.
used for a few games,
but we used it just for those times, like you said. Well, you need a 25. Well, fuck. Well, here, use this.
Right.
And then you have the golf ball, which was the
100-sided die.
That was
never stopped rolling
for a percentile.
Yeah.
Which I just don't know why you wouldn't just roll percentile dice.
Because it was funnier to watch a bowling ball go down the, and not stop until it hit the floor.
It's essentially just like a solid golf ball, you know what I mean? Like
right. In the days before rolling boxes that people have now.
Yeah, right.
Right, dice towers and that sort of thing. So that is the topic for today is our origins and the where we come from gaming perspectively. I know that Bob and I, we know John since we were little kids. But Trent, how did you meet John?
I met John at the crossroads when I signed a contract with the devil. No, actually, I met John. Like,
was it a group deal?
It was a total group deal.
I still have to collect.
No, I actually met Tim, who Tim is absent right now. He's dealing with, he just had a baby. Congratulations, Tim.
He's dealing with it.
Yeah, he's dealing with the insanity, the insanity of having a brand new child. Right. Anyways, I met Tim in high school. I got to know him and Randy really well. And then Tim invited me to come play Dungeons and Dragons. And I really didn't know anything about D&D up until that point. Like, I've seen the cartoon. I played like Dragon's Lair. I read Choose Your Own Adventure books, but I'd never played the tabletop version of it. And Tim was like, hey, man, you should come over and hang out on this Friday night. And let's try this and play it. So I came over and that's where I met John. And John said, what kind of character you want to play? And I was really big into Mortal Kombat at the time. And I said, I want to play Shang Tsung. And he looked at me and frowned and then helped me build Shang Tsung. So, helped me build a really cool character, Saprik Thanius, that I played for a long time, that had the ability to siphon souls. And he was kind of a necromancer cleric type thing. And you could siphon souls and trap them in an amulet. And then you could summon them and basically would change into them and fight shit. Like, I don't remember all of them. I do remember the Amazon. I had a redheaded Amazon that kicked the shit out of people.
Nice.
A big, tall, redheaded Amazon lady that like
Red Sonja.
Yeah, all Marshall, totally Red Sonja. And then there was like, there like an old decrepit guy in there that I used. It was like a mage or something like that.
An old decrepit guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I can't remember it all. I wish I still had
a scout in there too.
Did I have a scout?
A scout, yeah, because we used him quite a bit to get into places that, well, we couldn't get into.
Oh, right on.
So, Bob, you were already a part of this gaming group?
Yes, by that point.
By that point? That's rad. And you all came to John, who was your first Dungeon Mastermind as well. And off you went.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
And that was your first exposure to Dungeons and Dragons. Prior to that, you really didn't know that much about it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know much about it at all. My parents were like, my parents were never heavily religious, but my family is kind of, rural. There we go. And a little bit from a religious background. So like, when all the satanic weird shit went on in the 80s, everybody was like, you play D&D, your kid's going to stab you in your sleep. So like, it wasn't something I ever approached just because I never thought it would be an option. And then, I was probably 17 whenever I first played it. And that was the first like real experience I had actually sitting down and rolling dice and fucking fell in love with it. You know what I mean? Like, it was fantastic.
Amazing. So, John, you were their kind of drug dealer that lured them into this expensive and costly habit.
Good analogy.
Right.
You want your kids to stay off drugs, introduce them to Magic the Gathering and D&D.
Well, it's escapism. And D30's aside, it shouldn't hospitalize you or land you in jail. Like, I got to feed my habit. I'm breaking into homes and shit.
I need new dice.
I'm selling new jewelry for the new compendium that came out. I got to have it. Scratch that itch.
We just sold blood. Shit.
So that's something that I think is curious about this group is we all come from cousin humper country.
Yeah.
Like there's no gaming store within a 100-mile radius of where we came from.
Right.
So John was both of your lead-in. John, where did you get exposed to this Dungeons and Dragons?
I was
that Dan?
It was just before junior high, actually. I was living in Kilbuck, actually, when I ran into one other person. You know him, Troy Landon.
Oh, okay.
So,
and he had, like, gaming materials?
Yeah, but I started playing when I hit junior high from there, and then
What was your first gaming group like?
I didn't have a gaming group. I just had a book. Actually, the first book was Deities and Demigods. The reprint. I never had the original.
Right, but eventually you would have run into other people that played and you played?
No. Actually, I got Timmy, Randy, Robert, I think Alan Billings at that time, Jay Brady, Van Kirk, and Timmy's mom, Kathy, was the first group.
All right.
And I taught all of them. And then in comes Horse Humper over there. He walked in.
Nobody on the internet can. We are recording this on video.
Yes.
All right.
Hi.
I was about to say nobody can hear you nod.
So, but I only had a couple of the books, and then we sat down, helped create everybody's character, and went from there, and then ran it for.
So you didn't actually get to play. You had to you had to be Dungeon Master before you played.
You don't have to be. It's just that I knew all
no, I mean, you did, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you were kind of like, I'm going to run before I learn how to walk here.
Pretty much. Actually, the only time I actually played was
Dan and
Ella Sigler.
So after you'd formed this group, there was another group that you'd wandered into when you got to play finally.
Yeah, and those were friends that I've known for a little while when I moved up to Worcester. But yeah, I mean, it was very rarely that I actually played a character, but it was fine. I didn't mind.
John spent a lot of time playing with himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So
yeah, because I knew you through some of that period, but it's nothing that we talked about. My experience was a lot like Trent's. I had actually bought the second Ed starter box that came out in probably 84, 85, like when the cartoon was red hot, and also that Satanic Panic had taken off. And my parents didn't know anything about it other than my dad had seen probably like a report on TV or the Tom Hanks movie that scared the shit out of people.
Right.
And he didn't know enough to tell me why. He was just like, this is concentrated evil, and you're impressionable. I know how you are, and this could be something bad. The people are telling me, like, this is the kind of thing where other people would probably burn it on an altar or something. Like, should we burn this? Like, he asked me if we should burn it. And I was like, I already spent my allowance on it, and I really want to play it. Like, I wasn't smart enough to articulate an argument that would hold up against I'm frightened for you.
Yeah, right.
You know, as a parent, I understand that now, but back then I was just like go in my room and beat my head against the wall because I really wanted to play this. And I kind of tucked that away until I wandered back home here and bumped into Timmy, who said, yeah, we've been doing this shit for a long time, man. Come on in.
Right.
And I got to join your group and be a part of that. And literally a third of what we did had largely to do with retelling those stories about all of the great things that you guys had created together. Those stories, those characters, they really resonated with you.
Right.
In a way that few other things can, you know. I no dig at video games, you know, because they're doing the thing now where it's online playing and everybody can join in and you meet up with people, but it's just not the same thing. You're playing somebody else's game. In this, you are creating something together.
Exactly. I think a big difference there. Like, I mean, I love playing video games. I play them like crazy, but you know, people always try to make that comparison between the MMO or the RPG, you know, video game with tabletop, and it's like comparing apples to Volkswagens. Like, it just doesn't work because, you know, when you're playing a video game, you are playing a set story, and yes, you can go off on different tangents and do a few different things here, but there's still an overarching linear path that you have to follow. And it's like with Dungeons and Dragons, and you know, like what I learned playing with John and these guys in the beginning was that, you know, you're doing collective, collaborative storytelling, and that has endless possibilities of where you can go. You know, I mean, John, you know, I think you gravitated towards being a DM because you're a natural storyteller, and it's like you always had an idea for us where you wanted us to end up, but John always let us just kind of do and go wherever the game took us. You know what I mean? I mean, fuck, we completely rewrote the entire history of Kryn in a single 20 roll of a 20-sided die. You know what I mean? Like it was Jay Brady, wasn't it?
Jay Brady did that.
Yeah, he comes out.
Fucked that world all up.
We run into Lord Soth, and this is before the Cataclysm, and freaking Jay Brady's like, your destiny lies that way, and rolled a natural 20 on a persuasion. Soth turned around and went the other direction. Fucking Cataclysm never happened. You know what I mean? Like, totally just rewrote the entire Dragonlance. Fuck that shit. Threw it out the window, dude. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean that's why I think it appealed to me so much is because I love being a creative. I love telling stories, and I love being parts of stories, and like John's ability to kind of give us this blank canvas that has just like a few guidelines. It says this is kind of the direction we're going to head, and kind of let us write the story. And then as we did things on the fly, and then during his, I'm sure, week of preparation, he would make adjustments to what he wanted to do to fit what we had chosen. So it's like, it was this really great collaborative effort to build these amazing stories and to get to take these awesome characters, like all the way up to, I don't even know where we're at. We're like 25 or something there at the end, weren't we?
25th
Oh my God.
when we ended.
So 25, are you just like fighting whole fucking armies? Or
At
is
times,
it gods? Or like...
I know Kyric Dragonstrike would basically slaughter dragons like people will swat flies with a fly swatter, you know?
6 seconds. Yeah, I could kill a dragon in a round.
That Timmy can do it, and you know.
And half a second, yeah, with that stupid bow.
That stupid fucking Heartseeker bow.
Thank you for killing that, by the way.
Breaking many artifacts.
That sounds like a daunting task as a DM to go, okay, this week, like, it's not like that you could create, I got a little dungeon here for him to run through, or...
You've seen bullet outlines, right?
Yeah.
That's my entire campaign on the go. And most of the time it's one little bar, maybe paragraph, and then it's just like, well, what the hell are they going to say? Or you try.
Well, you're concerned beforehand. Like, you know, the lower levels, you're like, I'm trying not to kill you dickheads.
Right.
Like, you want to murder hobo your way through some dangerous shit. But post 25, now you're just trying to figure out something, I would imagine, that's a challenge. Or
should we go kill God?
How do you?
Sure,
yeah.
why not?
Which,
You know,
which
like-
one? Who's left?
Right,
Who's left at 25? Is it us? We're it.
I know John found a way to make it work, because even if those higher levels, we were still fucking. We still had adventures and we're doing shit, man. You know.
I've not done too much DMing, but my instinct would be like, I'm going to pit these assholes against each other and see what happens.
Right.
At that point. You know what I mean? When your king...
we did that on our own.
Did
that happen?
That's a lot of in squabbling.
Right?
We had many instances where somebody usually got stabbed. You know, we were infamous for fumbling on the first roll with a new weapon, and usually,
absolutely,
unfortunately, Bob's character Kyrick usually took the hit.
Right.
I had the hit points to take it, though.
Yeah, you did.
And the armor class.
And I know, right?
Until after the hit, and then the armor class. Well,
you feel like within the characters of this group that there's still some misgivings? Like there's some shit you just left unresolved that needs to be worked out, or did you guys come out on top? Are you okay?
Spellfire.
That's Timmy's character, right? He was a Spellfire wielder.
Ishtar Stargazer.
For those who don't know, what is Spellfire exactly?
All right, Spellfire introduced into Faerun, the novel, actually, Spellfire. Chandril was the first public wielder of it, which is the ability to absorb magic, channel it, redirect it as Spellfire. A lightning bolt that's part energy of nondescript nature, basically pure magic and...
How does one acquire that? Are you just like the gods gift it with you, or
originally
Mystera gave it to all of her chosen,
including Elminster?
Okay, so there's no first level character with this. It's like you had to have proven yourself as some champion of light.
That's not true. 3.5, I believe, when they reintroduced Faerun, you could get that as a feat at first level was Spellfire. It wasn't very powerful. You could do a 1d6 damage per point of constitution, depending on stuff. I can't remember. But
so you weren't just a boomerang that shot out magic.
No, you can get hit. You had to absorb it, and then you could rechannel it. But
you could only hold on to this much.
And then the rest of it dissipated or you exploded. Now, there were no rules in second edition, so that shit was all me on the fly. And, well, Ishtar had a problem with actually containing it most of the time.
She would overchannel and then blow up all
and then go nuclear, and we would all pay the price.
Yeah. It was either Bob's character Kyrick take it in the ass many times for whatever reason, because he just was in the wrong place all the time, or Sabrick when they tried to do a soul merge.
Yeah.
They would get one half of the merge right.
What is a soul merge?
It was an ability that I allowed him to do with Ishtar, to be able to combine their characters, take the best of their stats, combine it, and use Spellfire, except we changed it to like a black soulfire, which literally obliterated.
It would burn your soul to death.
Which they were supposed to use during...
Think Ghost Rider's Penance Stare.
Right.
Well, they were supposed to have that ability for a set goal. They could never get it right.
We fucked it up every time, dude.
You just have to work once at like 20 seconds.
Yeah, they got it once when they needed it, but other than that, they would always fuck it up. They'd get the first half right, the second half, they always failed it, and, well...
Yeah, it usually ended in an explosion, and Bob putting out his dwarven whiskers.
Yeah.
That were like, he was singed.
He's had to regrow his beard many times.
Yeah, exactly.
Popular target of that Dungeon Master, right?
Well, it's not as bad as Tim's mom, Nancy. She played a character I created.
You mean Kathy?
Kathy. Nancy.
Like, who's
They're
Nancy?
all Nancy to me.
Somebody's mom.
Yeah, somebody's fucking mom.
Somebody's mom.
But she played LaDonna, for Deathcry, which was a character, was an NPC mage that I made. Well, I'd never read the Dragonlance novels at that time, and I gave her to play it. She played it literally how I wanted it to be played, because she based it off of Raceland.
Yeah.
Well, she had a bad habit of unleashing magical spells and then deciding to teleport someplace else for the moment to see what happens. Like locking Bob in a room with a bunch of trolls and casting dancing lightning, or casting 2 fireballs down blocked hallways to kill a bunch of goblins. But Bob was at the crossroads of that too.
Well, that's
so.
By the end of that adventure, I was immune to pretty much everything.
He kept getting hit by shit, and Bob would be like, "Okay, we got to find a town so I can get immune to that."
Well, that's the challenge of any mage, which is they don't call them glass cannons for nothing.
Right? Yeah.
It's like, how do I get around the moral implications are right out the window. It's not about them being evil; they're just practical. You know what I mean? Troll? Well, lightning will work. Oh, me. Oh, okay. Lightning, and then I remove myself. Problem solved.
Sorry about the tank.
Your meat shield is now barbecued. Thank you. So.
The thing is, you can go get like cell swords. You can't go get cell wizards.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the wizard is you either have one or you don't.
You know, something too that I want to bring up since we're on the subject of that old campaign and those old games. One of the things I love most about gaming with him being the DM is the auxiliary characters he would add to the campaigns, like Stuart and fucking Shimmer.
Twilliger Ten Toes.
Shalit's Twilliger Ten Toes. You know, like John had this ability to, like, you know, when things would get heavy, he's really great at coming up with these characters to throw in to give some levity. You know, like Shimmer was a rainbow dragon who was the daughter of Tiamat, who it constantly would appear and latch itself onto Kyric's nose and just hang there. So you had this dwarf that slayed dragons with a baby rainbow dragon attached to his face half the time, you know? And then there was Wilbur.
No, there was Stuart.
Or Stuart and Wilbur. Wilbur was one of my favorites. He was a beholder that had gotten hit by a fireball.
Yeah, he was
They're not very handsome anyway. Why not?
He was only the size of a basketball, but he had the one ability out of all of his eyes, because he only had one eye stalk in the main eye, was his ability to turn into a great elder orb, which they grow to be 30 feet in diameter. He can't hold it for very long, but it's enough to fuck with everybody. Like when Ishtar, because he kind of hung out with her, because Ishtar gave him a jester's cap with bells.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It didn't do good for the thief trying to sneak, mind you, but she went, I am woman, hear me roar. So Wilbur turned and goes, roar, roar, and turned 30. Everybody had to make a save. I think nobody except LaDonna made it. So everybody was pretty much...
Everybody kind of passed out, you know what I mean, just from like, what the fuck?
Right.
You know, so we had this fucking beholder that would travel around with us that every once in a while it would decide to roar and turn into a 30-foot in diameter monster that would just scare the shit out of everything, you know?
That is super rad.
Little things like that, though. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the things. I love those little... I think that's really what... I think that is a sign of a great DM, number one. But number two, I think that's something you need to have in a campaign. You know what I mean?
Your player characters don't discount that, too. Because you can throw those NPCs at your players. And depending on the group, that may be somebody they either try to kill or run off, or they don't get it.
Right.
You guys are able to embrace that. You know what I mean? In that way, and make him all those creatures a part of your story.
Yeah, exactly.
John had a way with voices too.
Yeah, he was good with that.
Can you still do Twilliger?
Well, he was just a little wee leprechaun. I mean, he fussed around all the time, you know. Of course,
yes.
He used to run around with my ranger dark bow. You know, that was one of his companions actually. But yeah,
John DMing Feywild would be amazing.
Oh my gosh,
right? How much fun would that be?
Yeah, I know, right?
You guys wouldn't make it out.
I know. We barely made it out of anything we ever did, anyways.
That's not true. You've blasted through most towns, bad guys.
That's mostly dragons. Tim. Mostly Tim and Kyric. That's mostly Ishtar and Kyric, because Kyric would beat them down to where they had like one hit point left, and then Tim would Heartseeker bow him. You know what I mean? And suck up all the experience points and make him angry.
If I got all of the experience points that I actually beat out of characters, I probably would have been 35th.
Exactly, right?
Left you guys in the dust.
I've DM'd the Keep on Shadowfell a couple times, and in there, I've always tried to introduce those type of NPC characters that either help you or aid you or just accompany you, and it never doesn't work at all. And Keep on Shadowfell might be spoiling that for some of the people that haven't played that. If you want to, I'd recommend it. There's a chance for an NPC in there named Splug, who's a little goblin, the plucky little guy that might aid your group. And I threw that in front of John as a player, and John ended up trying to kill him.
He was just annoying.
He did turn on him, but it was goaded into action, I still insist. So I failed to create an endearing NPC. Because John's like, I see that cocksucker, I'm killing him. That's what he said.
Well, he turned on us. What do you expect?
I did a funny voice and everything. Like, I had it all laid out there. And he's like, I will fucking murder him.
It's all right. John murdered, an entire building full of people in my adventure, so you know.
I did not. I killed one person in a cave. The goblins ran out.
There were so many funny voices possible out of that building.
I know, right?
Ash. They're just ash.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing but ash.
That's because your group killed them all as they were running in fear.
No, that was the goblins, not the people that you burned inside of the bar.
That was only one person.
No, you burned many people that were inside of the bar.
No, everybody else. The only person that was in there was the person I cut the fingers off of. Because he didn't have a tongue.
Enough said.
And one drunk guy.
You see where this goes?
There's
just
exactly.
There's no room in there for wacky character voices all of a sudden.
He didn't have
hey there, hold on, man.
I know, right?
He didn't have a tongue. He wasn't making any kind of voices, but
oh my God.
You know.
But we still cut his fingers off.
Yes, I did.
We did. Well, hold on.
We didn't do shit.
You were accomplices. Nobody tried to stop me.
I know, right?
So,
but that was your first adventure groups. Those were all second edition, right?
Yeah.
Did anybody here play a first edition? Because
I'm the only one. I think that even I didn't run anything because by that time everybody was more in the second edition had already come. So, first edition by that time was already done and over with. But I did read and have the book for it, which I still like more than I did second ed. It's like anything else when you change it. It takes you a while to get used to it. Because in the first one, you had racial character classes. Your elf, your dwarf, your halfling, those are all racial character classes. So they went up by their own experience but had their own abilities. Elves were a fighter mage. They went up till 10th level gaining spells along with their fighter abilities. Halflings had special abilities. The gnomes
illusions. Illusionist gnomes.
The gnomes were a racial character class also. They gained illusionist powers as they went up. They weren't separate. It was
kind of racist just to imagine that that's all you can be. You know?
Well, I mean, they were powerful in their own right compared to a human. So, you know.
Right, but if you wanted to explore being an elf, like fighter mages, that's what you got.
Well, but if you look at a lot of things, including any of the old legends, you know, most of it's based off of Nordic, like Tolkien. A lot of his stuff is Nordic in origin. The elves were fighters or they were highly magical. Dwarves, they were combat-oriented, but they went more towards earthy type affairs, armor, stuff like that. The halflings, hobbits, whatever you want to call them, they were literally just country folk. They were like little Amish people that got along with nature.
Right, but
Gnomes,
your adventurers
Pygmy Amish.
already, like your adventurers in any D&D setting, they're already an exception.
Right.
Like they're exceptional characters. They're not supposed to be just your run-of-the-mill fucking halfling, whatever.
Right,
like you already have to be exceptional to be like, you know what? I'm gonna leave hearth and home and go off and fight fucking orcs and shit. Like that's
right. But at the same time, though, I mean, like, I understand where you're coming from, but like, if you look at video games, man, like they don't give you that many options. I mean, it's some of them do. Like some of the newer MMORPGs and stuff like that, you can be like, I'm going to be an elf. But even if you look at like WoW, if you choose elf, there's still some classes you can't play. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that uncommon. And I think when you think out the gate at first edition, that, you know, these guys went from tabletop fucking war games to saying, you know, Gary Gygax is like, I want to play the fucking warrior who's in the third line, fifth to the right. I want to be that guy. You know what I mean? And like coming out the gate, I think it was probably very easy for them to just say, well, you're an elf, you're this. You know what I mean? And then as that caught on, they built the mechanic for being able to go, well, maybe these things could switch around. I like the idea of letting anybody be anything. That's just kind of my thing because I think you get some really unique shit that way. You know, one of these days I want to see your fucking half ogre fucking swashbuckler because I think it'll be fantastic.
one day it will happen.
You know.
But if you look at the original Gauntlet, the elf was a magic user. The human, so I mean, you had 4 classes, and each one did one thing.
Yeah,
that was it.
And even when you go up, you know, you go up to second edition, you know, things were still kind of stereotypical. Plus, I mean, I still like the idea of you have to have certain ability scores to be able to
well, that's what the prestige classes are for.
Well,
right?
Before, like if you wanted to become a paladin, number one, paladins weren't everybody and their brother can be a paladin. It was human because humans by far of all the races were the most zealous when it comes to their religion. At least that's how kind of goes and is explained. So, but you had to have, let's say, I think we're going second edition, you had to have at least a 18 in charisma, I believe, and 16 in strength, and 16 in wisdom, I believe.
An 18 in charisma?
Because a lot of their abilities, just like now, are charismatic. You know,
right. No, I understand that, but to the average, how was the average person actually rolling?
Not like that. Like back then, that was a dump stat.
Yeah.
Nobody put a fucking point in charisma at all.
You know, most of the time when people wanted to play a certain thing, but their roles didn't allow it, I always bumped it up to the very minimum.
Right.
You know, because you have to have a minimum of like 15 to be able to, or 14 or something, or 12 as a strength for anybody to play.
Yeah.
So I mean, strength was there, but. You know, but then again, that's when the maximum for human or almost any other mortal race was 1800 maximum.
Right.
For strength and stuff like that.
But this is back in the day and age where you rolled 3d6 from top to bottom,
Yeah, pretty
and your
much.
character was determined by your rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't get to, you know, it was all of us, that all the homebrews that came along with the whole, you know, well, roll 7 and drop the lowest and then choose where your attributes go. That was all from us, dude. That wasn't how it originally was.
No.
You went strength. Fuck, it's an 8. Okay, I guess I'm not playing a fighter this time. You know, like.
Well, that too, like, I don't know. I think it was Stephen Colbert's interview with Joe Manganiello where they were talking. He was like back in those days where you would roll up series of stats and then go, okay, well I guess this guy just went off and become a farmer.
Yeah, they said to become a
I'm
farmer.
gonna start rolling over again.
Yeah, right. Just start re-rolling the character.
What's your
I'm not
indulgent?
making this character.
I got a 4.
I do think though that sometimes though, like, and this is something like when we rolled up our secondary characters that we're going to start playing probably tomorrow for the Dragon Heist thing.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. Like when I went through and did those, I decided I didn't do full old school, but I rolled 3d6 and then I just rolled 7 sets of them, dropped the lowest set, and then put the attributes where I wanted. But I think the problem is when you throw those many, you know, where it's, I know John does a lot, like in a couple of things you've written, to where it's like roll 4d6, drop the lowest, re-roll ones. When you do that, you end up with these characters that are so overpowered in every fucking attribute. It's like there's no downfall to the character. You know what I mean? Like,
Why
I noticed
are you
that.
looking at me in that tone of voice?
Yeah, I know. Well, dude, you made a deal with Satan. That's why your rolls are always 17 and higher.
Well, we both, you know, do exceptional. But the thing about it is also anytime I end up going into a game, I always tell everybody this is a heroic fantasy.
Right.
You are heroes. So you shouldn't.
You're supposed to be exceptional.
You're supposed to be,
Right, but-
and I know that
You're not supposed to be fucking Superman.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
First
Like,
level.
like
No.
when you have every attribute above a 15, that's more than exceptional. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're Steve Rogers at that fucking point, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's, you know, because when you consider 10 a normal human being, you know what I mean? I think I don't know. I just think it adds flavor to the role playing aspect if you have stats and attributes that are below that normal level, because it gives you things that can work against you.
Well, again, I never said anybody had to keep them. Just like I did, you know, let me drop these just to do this.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, but then again, we're also talking about like doing that now. Yeah, your characters and everything are going to be a little OP. Back in the day,
That's
that
true.
wasn't necessarily the truth, because you guys still struggled a lot of times when it came to certain things because your rolls just couldn't match it.
You also threw like 8 dragons at us at once.
No, that was Robert did that kind of stuff. You know, you guys only maybe 2.
And the group that I threw those at, they literally walked up to them and went, "We're making a withdrawal from your horde or we'll kill you." And the dragons laughed at them, and then they killed all of them and took all of the horde. The dragons didn't get an attack. They killed 8 in 6 seconds.
How do you kill 8 dragons in 6 seconds? I got to know this.
There was a 25th level paladin of the Lady of Pain from Sigil who was playing a Minotaur.
Lady of Pain sounds so exciting.
At one point, a dragon.
I just smelled leather. I was like, oh yeah.
Same thing went through my head. Like leather, like with a Russian accent, like a choker on, you know, like yeah.
Oh, it's just so much fun.
At one
it's probably
point-
not that though, right?
No.
Okay.
At one point, a dragon was charging him in flight. He goes, "I'm going to charge it back," and he won the roll. He took a dragon out of the air on the ground by running at it full speed.
Oh goddamn.
Pull. Got it.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. My first exposure to gaming, a full third of it was hearing these stories and being excited because I knew I was with people that are flat out into it.
Right, yeah.
You guys you'd like dive right into this and become those characters. And like I said, John does such a good job of, boy, like, making it more real.
How we
Right.
coming up
Like-
with a list there?
Yeah. It becomes real.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a talent. We're blowing smoke up your ass over there.
Yeah, but the thing
he's
about
an
it is-
asshole in real life, but when it comes to being God, he's actually pretty good at it. So
The thing about it is
asshole
all I do, and all anybody needs to do, everybody here at the table that's run does it. All I did was give you an outline. Here's a storyline. This is stuff that happens to each of you when you first meet up. There you go. You guys
did a good job of paying attention to them too.
Right.
You read those character sheets that they created, and you incorporated their backstory, added to it, made it more real. Each one of them, you brought something, and then you throw some left field shit to just see how they'd react.
Yeah, dude, I
It
mean,
was a
I-
good balance of that.
I came to you with this idea for a character. Like, I wanted to play Shang Tsung, and the character you helped me create and how that character developed was so much more than that. Like, I mean, Saber Thanius was a fucking badass, dude. He was cool as shit. He made Shang Tsung look like a fucking like Captain Kangaroo, dude. Like, the guy was awesome. And it's like, you did that by like taking what I wanted and then figuring out ways to feed it into the game and grow that character in a way that took it places I didn't even think that I was going to go with it. You know what I mean? It's, dude, you haven't accept the compliment, fucker. All right.
But in truth, each character that I helped create or make a backstory, Robert, yours was one of the first ones we came up with to begin with at the table. So, I mean, you guys write the story of your own. I give you little tidbits here. I'll throw, hey, here's a suggestion. Or I'll add something in that maybe wasn't written into your past, but had something to do with it. You guys eventually came into contact with Durak, and boy, did like 3 out of 4 of you fuckers, hey, there's Dad. What is he? Well, he's a dwarf. I'm an elf. Well, he did get
Surprise.
polymorphed.
Some hospital mix-up.
So, there's a whole bunch of different stuff for that one. But, I mean, everybody writes their own story. I just incorporate it in once everybody comes into the group. You find a common cause, but you guys write the story. I just have to figure out different pieces to put for you to carry on. Now, mind you, you always go where I want you to, but the way you get there is all on your own.
Yeah.
I don't do linear. It's one of the reasons why I don't use campaign books or whatever. I'll use ideas from it, but I won't run it the way they are. Like Tomb of Horrors. God, I mean, that's a linear, almost everything. When you read any
you're
of those
locked
books,
into that ride. Once you get thrown up in there, you're...
Yeah, it's all linear, and I don't like linear.
I mean, how you introduce it is there's a spots along the way where you got to keep throwing, what's his, I'm going to fuck this up, Acererak? How do you...
Acererak?
Acererak. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I thought you said a server rack.
Fuck,
Server
I was
rack.
very
Like,
confused.
wine is
I
over
looked at that
here.
name only on paper. I've never heard it out loud. Oh my God, how do you fucking say that? Because it's kind of an important name. The way Tomb of Horrors is written, you have to start throughout up to 10th level or whenever the first real challenge is. You got to kind of drop that in there so they're familiar to look for that.
Recommended.
But once they're
13th
locked
level.
into Tomb of Horrors, there's no way out, and you're
Right.
gonna
Strap in, you're about to die.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I agree with you on some of those modules. Sure, like Tomb of Horror sounds like that. I bet you probably, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which we're going to get to at some point. Once you're in there, you're fucking in there, dude. But at the same time, though, I think that the modules can be used great. It can be used very well. I mean, I bought that starter kit whenever I decided I wanted to run a campaign, and it had the fucking mine of the Fandeviler mind in it, a mine in it, and I took that and used pieces of it to build as resource material to build a campaign around it.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's
it's
what
like,
I mean.
I
but-
still followed what the book wanted me to do. We still achieved what needed to happen, but I built my own.
Did we
fucking
really
story
like
with it.
how our gaming group? We did tackle that.
Yeah, the goal of that whole thing is to kill the black spider.
Okay.
If anybody's in the middle of playing this right now, sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, the whole goal of that campaign was to kill the black spider and basically get the mine back for the Rockseeker brothers. That was the whole point of that. That was the two main things you had to accomplish in that, and then you help out the town of Phandalin. That's the other part.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, which I just stuck a bunch of my other stuff from Ravnica in there and tied it all together and added like all the crazy shit with the red brands after John burnt the bar down, and
it accomplished what we set out.
it did actually. And I was really impressed with that, man. You burnt the bar down, chased them all out of the keep, so we
It
had
made
to
it seem
defend
more heroic at the end of it because they're like, oh, I guess they're not psychotic assholes.
Yeah, I know. We had to defend the town
I was.
scenario, and then you guys ended up actually defeating them all with only killing a couple of them.
Yeah, and that was largely thanks to John's psycho character.
And Michelle, who doesn't have a microphone over here, and Brenda scaring the shit out of everybody by turning into a minotaur in the middle of the town. You know, that assisted.
Right?
You know?
Nut up, folks who want some.
Scared the shit out of some of us, too.
Minotaur.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, no, the whole point I was making is that I just don't want anybody listening, I don't want to turn them off to buying those modules because they can be used in that manner.
No. Not, like I said, I use stuff out of them too. I just don't run like a lot of people, some people, and I'm not trying to offend anybody.
Yes, he is.
Okay, fuck y'all then. But a lot of people, then there's a few people me and Robert know that don't go outside the box.
Right.
He's literally wearing a shirt that says, "I'm sorry, did I offend you?" As he says, "I'm not trying to offend anyone."
Yeah, I'm really not, you know. But there's some people that
comes natural to them.
they don't go outside of what is portrayed, so they don't know how to deal with. Well, what if somebody comes up with something it's not accounted for?
So you're speaking to somebody buying one of those modules and reading it word for word.
Yeah.
And following. So making that like, okay, that I can agree with.
To me, that it's too linear, so that I don't.
No, I agree 100% because, and on top of it, like, I don't even understand how you would do that because characters are never. One thing I learned out there in fucking podcast world, this Fan Deviler campaign was the first one I ever did. And the first most intensely painful and enjoyable lesson I learned was that whatever you expect your player characters to do, they fucking won't. They're going to do exactly the opposite of everything you think they're going to do. So be prepared to do shit on the fly, man. But like that's what I mean. I don't know how that linear thing would work because, you know, like you burning the bar down changed everything. You know what I mean? Like they changed everything that happened there. So it's like, if you're going to go straight by the book, I don't know how you would deal with that because the book had no response for you burning the bar down and killing a bunch of townsfolk. Like
those books are great for brand new DMs that don't know what they're doing, and it teaches you to adapt on the fly.
I see what I think they're useful for. I agree with you 100% for brand new DMs is resource. Like I didn't have to look up and figure out how to build the stats for a green dragon. I didn't have to figure out how to build a keep or how to deal with the red brands.
Yeah,
that shit was all built for me, and then I just took all these little characters. It's like taking a bunch of minis and moving them around a chessboard.
Right. Speaking of Green Dragon, that's a good point. It's a whole forest full of frightening, crazy shit, and we were like, and we'll start here, and then dragon.
Yeah, you guys went directly to the fucking dragon. Just went right forward.
Over everything.
Yeah. Well,
we did get a halfling scrotum shaved first.
Yeah, that by the way, that was my very first thing as a DM. Is I had to role play shaving Hugo, Curtis's character Hugo's scrotum. That was the very first thing I had to do as a DM.
That was a very proud role.
You see what kind of group this is.
Obviously, it's fantasy role playing for me because there's no razor anywhere near this fur baron hide over here. What would it be like if I shaved? Let's explore that.
Yeah, no.
So that your first group was second ed, and you guys played for a while, and then we all switched over to third. And like you said, it is probably hard to let go of some of those things you're accustomed to in favor of the new and improved version.
It was really easy to let go of Thaco.
That I'll agree with because that was way too much math for me. I mean, it got simpler. It's just like building a world or when you're gaming. Also, at first, you want to read the stat blocks, but then after that, you'll build your own, or you'll switch it up. You'll change something, make it a little more unique. But yeah, Thaco, I got an armor class of -2. Well, you add 2 to your Thaco. My Thaco's 5. Well, that should be a 7. I got a +5. Okay, fuck it, just roll. Don't get a 1. Okay, yeah. All right.
To anybody that's younger than 30, Thaco means 2-hit armor class 0.
Yeah. And there was a bunch of really fucking weird math you had to do to figure out what your Thaco was. One thing I do miss about second edition, though, is since we're talking about that, is I do miss weapon proficiencies and how they were treated.
Yes.
Because essentially, instead of just saying, hey, I'm proficient in martial weapons, you said, I want to be proficient in a fucking battle axe. And then as you leveled up, you got a weapon proficiency, and you could choose to put another one in your battle axe or to get proficient in a second weapon. So you could continually increase your proficiency and ability with an axe, or you could choose to take more weapons. I missed the fuck out of that. Because that really, second edition really allowed you to completely create a custom character without an overabundance of skills, without an overabundance of feats. You just were able to tailor it how you wanted as you were leveling up. I think nowadays, the weapon thing is just way too simplistic. You know what I mean? I don't like that.
Did you notice in 5th? They swapped crossbows and regular longbows and shortbows out.
Yeah.
Where shortbows and longbows are now simple weapons.
Yeah.
Crossbows are martial weapons.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because
that makes sense to me.
Well, longbow actually takes a little more proficiency and skill to
It takes
use.
skill to fire a bow.
The fuck out of here! There's goddamn people living in jungles that haven't even invented the fucking wheel with a bow, and you're like, oh, hold on, this sophisticated.
Yeah, but dude, I've sat down and shot a bow, dude, and it is not.
I'm not saying it's fucking easy.
No.
But I'm saying there's a reason why they moved crossbow because it's a mechanism.
Right.
There's a lot you got to look at. If you know how to fucking shoot a bow, and I think, especially talking in a fantasy setting, I think most people are probably proficient with that because, well, they got to go get their fucking food. You know what I mean? I mean, you can pay the hunter or whatever, but it's a lot easier to just go out in the jungle and shoot a fucking rabbit or something. You know what I mean?
But
I think
the
most
first
people
crossbow had 2 moving parts. The string and the trigger. That was it. The 2 moving parts. You squeeze the
shitty one, yeah, but you're probably not going to pay.
But that's also the type of crossbow we're currently dealing with in the Middle Ages.
Yeah,
you don't think that
you pulled and locked, and you pulled the trigger to release the lock. That was all it really was.
Right, but you don't think that there's more to what you would go purchase? I mean, this isn't something.
Well,
of a shitty quality. Yeah, that sounds right.
You're dealing with fantasy instead of real life. If you switch it over, if you're looking at real life, bows were actually they weren't all that common. As in all reality, longbowmen in the Middle Ages were snipers. They were paid heavily at sieges and stuff because of everybody using crossbows, defending castles, short range, couldn't hit shit. A longbowman, 3 times the range, and they had to do it by eye, so they were talented. Short bows were mostly used for hunting and whatever, that's the stuff, but longbows actually do take a little bit of skill to use compared to a short bow.
Yeah.
Not much, but it does take a little bit. Yeah. Crossbows are easy to use. If you have the strength to pull it back, you can fire it, but you're getting a shot once every
That's probably where the rubber meets the road, is how able you are in the heat of battle to be able to retrieve another bow, load it up, hold it, and sighting it, right? Because it's a projectile thing where it's not like a bow, where if you have a well-made bow and arrow that's not fucking shitty or warped, you pretty much know how to guide that and release it, whereas the crossbow is like, I don't know, here we go.
Point and shoot and hope you hit.
But is it the same where are you aiming, are there sights on it, like a gun, or is it like you're looking at the crossbow?
The modern day crossbows I've fired have sights on them. They're compound crossbow. They have a sight on them.
You have to know how to sight that stuff in.
Yeah, originally they really weren't. You basically just pointed the bolt in a general direction which you wanted to fire and fired. Usually there is a metal guide over the top on some of the later ones.
So hand crossbows have got to be that, because there's no room for anything.
Well, hand crossbows were very, very rare. You literally hardly ever seen them, and most of the times those were used literally by assassins. So, and
my neck. Too late.
I know, right?
but I mean,
something bit me.
But I mean, I can see what they're doing when they go and transfer it over in a game setting. It sort of does make sense that they're not really a martial weapon; they're a simple weapon. But
they're used for low-level infantry. It's like, okay, the other army's over there. Lob as many of these bolts over there so that we don't have to fight them.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how many people manning the castle walls were like that. They're like, it's your first time? Don't worry, it's easy. The guys run up to the wall, they just aim it down, the bolt falls out. Fuck. Could they run back a bit? Because if I angle it down, it just falls out. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
What are you doing? I got this one. You're throwing it. It's the same thing.
Go over there and stir the hot tar. Get the fuck out of here. You're fired.
You're off of bow duty.
Damn.
But anyways, the point I was trying to make is that I think that, in 4th and 5th, it seems that, the mechanics of the weapon system seem very watered down to me. You know what I mean? It's like I liked really being able to, I liked it costing something for you to learn a new weapon. In 2nd edition, like, I'm going to be proficient in a broadsword, not in swords, not in axes, in a broadsword. If I wanted to learn how to use a long sword or a rapier, I had to spend a weapon proficiency on it. So it's like there was a cost to it. Now you're just like, I'm proficient in simple weapons. I can pick up an axe, a sword, a long sword, a short sword, a rapier, a dagger, and I can use all of them the same.
Well, here's where I'm going to play the devil's advocate. Me agreeing with the books on this one.
I know, right?
Oh God, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Are you feeling all right? Do you have a fever?
Really, I'm
what
old.
time is this? This is 5:07.
Do you have a fever?
Yes, probably. But the off part of that is also what they're considering, at least in the way I can figure it, is you have the basic understanding of handling a general weapon. Swords.
You invented this a long time ago. You called them weapon groups.
Yeah. And then they introduced it later
all
on.
Swords handle roughly the same.
Yeah. So you did this, but now you have feats which allow you to specialize in your criticals and your hits and stuff like that. So they're kind of letting you do the same thing, only it's taking a longer time. Because before, a fighter could take all his weapon proficiencies. He had how many at second edition? Like 6, I think.
You're looking at me, and that was 30 years ago.
You got a better memory than I do. But anyway, if you took all your weapon proficiencies as a fighter and you socked them into one weapon, it was a plus 3,
plus 3, plus 6.
Yeah, plus 3, plus 6.
Okay, so I do remember. Apparently.
Yeah, it was the highest you could go. Because you literally took everything that you were supposed to learn and you shoved it into one weapon, which made you pretty good right out the go. But later on down the road, you learn more weapons or you saved them up to do it again. But that's when you started looking for your magical upgrades,
Right.
So that way I got this thing, I can beat ass, but I'm starting to falter against some of the heavier things. Oh, it's a giant. Oh, well, shit. But so in the third edition, and I believe even in fifth, they still have the ability to pick feats to allow you to.
Yeah.
So
even in fourth, they did.
Yeah.
I was happy with how they did feats in fifth because there's not a lot of them. It costs a lot to get them, and they're very powerful. Like that's my big problem with Pathfinder is the 857 million pages of feats you have to sift through every fucking level to figure out what you want to do with your character. Like
even if you go to their the online compendium where it includes everything, trying to figure out where the source comes from for this.
I end up picking.
What fucking book
the thing is I end up picking feats I don't even want because I'm tired of looking through them.
Yeah,
like fuck it. I'm
you
taking
find
that
a
one,
feat chain where you're like, I just plow through this and I'll burn at least 4 of the 12 that I need to pick out.
Yeah, exactly. I am not a fan of feats at all. Like I think fifth edition did them pretty well.
Yeah,
because like it really helped me kind of craft my sniper. But at the same time, like I'm not a fan of them. I don't like it. I'd rather have skills and like weapon proficiencies and shit like we had in second edition.
I do like that. I don't know what source it was because there's a lot to choose from, and one of those books, it harkens back to something. I don't know if that's your invention, John, or that is a D&D thing from second forward, but you can train in an opposite skill if you pay money to do it, or do you know what I mean? You come in contact. So it's one of those things where John said, you take a look at the adventuring group that you're in, and those other people have skills that might complement your own character, and you can learn that from them.
Right.
Was that something you came up with, or was that?
Well, I did that in second ed because usually what you had is what you had, and I don't think you could actually really do much outside of what you were allowed to do. But I always, if anybody that had a skill you were able to learn, they had to learn it from somebody in the adventuring group. For the fact of the matter is, you're in this group, you're going to be months, weeks with each other. Then if you want to learn something,
right,
you go from them, but it has to be something that one of the other troops do.
Yeah, because
it's not something your general fighter goes, I think this week I want to pick up lockpicking. I think I can do this on my own.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
it wasn't until like third edition, actually more close to probably 3.5, where they started to get insane with the skills. You know what I mean? Like I do remember in second edition, like if you were a mage, you had X skills that you got, and like you could take a few more here and there, and you could put, but it wasn't as insane like it is in third and 3.5, where it's just like you have a skill tree that's fucking 80 skills long, and where am I going to take these 23 points and put them? And I cannot have more than 1 times my level or 2 times my level in skill points. 3 plus my level in skill points. Like that's almost stacko math. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, that said back then too. Like if you wanted to play a different. You don't want to play Dungeons and Dragons. You wanted to jump over to another game system. You had to learn a whole new game mechanic for that game, and often you'd be begging for THAC0 because they're more complicated than that shit.
Right.
D20 is such a refined mechanic now that it's almost the industry standard. It's rare to find a game that's not D20 based.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree 100%, man. I mean, and I like D20 personally. Like, I like it. I mean, we've done a little Cthulhu in the old school style where it's all percentile roll, which is not bad, but I'm just so comfortable with D20 that it just makes sense to me. You know what I mean? I'm going to roll this 20-sided die. I'm going to add or subtract from it, and that's going to determine the success or failure of my action. You know, it's very simple that way. I'm a big fan of it. I know some people hate it. Some people are like, fuck D20, we like D6 and whatever. Like a D6 system, I don't even fucking comprehend. You know, and I've never played a D6 game, so I have no idea how it all works.
Right.
But it's
Shadowrun. It was the last one I played, which is the 90s.
Shadowrun, Star Wars.
Well, also Warhammer's all D6, isn't it?
Yeah, but Warhammer is a totally different animal.
Right.
Warhammer is...
That's a strategy-based game?
Yeah, it's a tabletop strategy game. I mean, you literally have a small army that you know...
And you go fight each other.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun.
That's all there is to that.
Right.
Huh?
It's a tactical game, but
So
you
it's
have to...
risk, but...
With
You can build-
cooler minis.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, but I mean, Star Wars originally was D6, and then it moved up to D20 back in probably the 90s, I think.
Right.
So, but
You know what I liked? I don't even think they moved it to 5th. What, Bastard Sword, is that a thing in there? Like, it had a different mechanic than the other swords because it's between long sword and great sword.
Well, you also had one-handed and two-handed Bastard Sword.
Right, but you needed to
you could use the Bastard Sword either one-handed or two.
Oh, is that it?
Or I think Bards had access to.
Fuck
Who had
Bards.
access? Oh my god! How dare you, sir?
I fucking hate
That's
Bards.
what I need to do now. I need to create a Bard that you will
I
love.
fucking hate Bards.
I already told him I was going to do a Bard, and he told me no. So.
No.
He literally said no.
No. I would never tell him.
I thought that was just.
I told him to take fucking Cthulhu, son of Cthulhu, and make him a bard because I want to fucking.
I want John to play a bard. You can play a fucking
bard.
amazing bard. Like,
Yeah.
tell me that would not be worth your fucking time.
Okay, so a long time ago, after we stopped playing our main characters and we started into a new campaign, I wanted to create a new character.
And a bard
I'm
fucked your girlfriend.
No, I'm like, okay, I want to create a new character. I'm not sure what I want to create. And I sat down and John handed me this character sheet for one named Keldon Darkshadow. And I'm like, what's this? He's like, it's a bard. It's who you're playing. I said, no, I'm fucking not. I don't want to play a bard. He said, fuck you, you're playing the bard. And I ended up having no choice but to play this bard that was the herald to his character and Terry's, and fucking got stuck playing that goddamn thing.
So
I can't remember how fucking
you
long.
got a bard forced upon you.
Yeah, I was. Yes.
Don't let him lie. He had fun with it.
I hate it.
We got drunk a lot in
God,
bars.
I had fun being drunk. I didn't have fun playing a bard.
He had fun. Don't let him lie. He did well.
Fucking hated that
Show us
character.
on the doll where the bard hurt you.
Yeah, everywhere.
I don't see Bob playing a bard. Have you played
I
him?
have played a bard.
He's got a great bard story. The one
Tell
about
me
the guy
about
who didn't you have one that got really rich and
Oh yeah, that bard ended up owning 5 bars, a brothel, and a fight club by the end of the adventure.
Very successful bard.
in Ravenloft.
No, go to fucking brothel in Ravenloft.
Our buddy Dan hated me because throughout the first year and a half, I did all of my bardic abilities with storytelling.
Oh, okay.
It was all oratory, and I was drunk constantly, which is why I invested in bars. It made sense to me, right? Anytime anybody else in the
You're
party,
your own best customer.
anytime anybody else in the party did anything, the very next town we got to, I'd sit down next to the fire, a whole paladin from Dragonlance, type thing, and tell a story of how my character did it, but I did it better than them, and everybody loved me. Dan's character cut the head off a vampire, and within 5 minutes, I had a story and a backstory of how I saved his character's life by cutting the head off a vampire.
You called me the asshole. Stolen glory there.
It was almost 2 years into that campaign where I finally went, wow, this is really a bad situation. I reached into my backpack and I pulled out a loot, and they went, You've had a loot for 2 fucking years and you haven't used it?
The long con. I love that.
Exactly, dude.
He just had that tucked away.
I had more points in loot than I had in storytelling. I was great at it. Never used it.
That's awesome. You know, I hate bards, but that's a fucking great bard, dude.
And John's bard would be epic level 2.
It would be. You should play a bard.
No.
Cathud doesn't have to be a bard.
No, it doesn't have to be Cathud.
No.
Now, it is in your world. Is it race restricted? Because bard is an elf tradition, isn't it? Isn't like didn't you, like when it started out you had to be an elf? Or?
No.
It was also Skaldic, Norse.
Well, the Skald was introduced in 2nd edition.
That's like the battle bard, right?
Yeah, it's the fighter bard. But bards originally were human, and they had, I think, 8 colleges that you... So, I mean, that all pretty much got changed and pretty much gotten rid of by the end of 2nd ed.
Oh, it's back, baby. If you play bard nowadays, it's upwards of that. You'd select a bard at college, like 3rd, and then that completely gives your bard a different flavor depending on the ones that you choose. College of Swords is pretty awesome,
right?
Yeah, because like before, also one of the things I kind of miss about like 2nd edition and 3rd was. Or 1st and 2nd, is when you went up, you actually had titles, you know, that kind of attributed to your levels. You know, monks had different ones.
Master of the North Wind.
Yeah.
So they're like achievements that you unlock?
It wasn't achievements. It was just a title. It was something that you got when you reached a certain level as an acknowledgement of you reaching that level. You know, like when your first level.
So would that increase your notoriety as like people in the realm would know you by this title? Like
sorta, yeah. It kind of did. I mean, if you were like, I don't even remember some of the bardic ones, but like once you reached like 15th level and stuff, by that time, an entire region or more knew who you were just by your name. You know, as a monk, you actually had to duel to attain your titles once you reached 15th, 16th level, I think, because Master of the Northwind, I think, was the highest, or Grand Master of Flowers.
Grandmaster of Flowers.
Grandmaster of Flowers, I believe, was the highest.
Grandmaster of Flowers?
Yeah, literally.
Dude, I'm with like Trent kind of on this. When it comes to like D&D is so wide open and there's so many different things. Monk is one of those things that just, dude, that's pineapple on the pizza. We're like
pineapple on pizza fucking rules.
Well, but it's a divided issue where people either dig it or they're like, fuck you doing? That don't belong on pizza.
Right.
And for a lot of people, monks are that. They're this very Eastern, you know, mystic character that they're like fighting it's a dragon. And you're like I'm going to kick it with my foot. Like,
when a monk walks up in like 5-point exploding heart techniques of fucking red dragon, you're just like, what the fuck? Are you serious?
Where?
Like, like I played, like, it even goes to video games, because like in Diablo 3, I played a monk, and that was the fastest I've ever run through that fucking game was with that monk, dude. And he just like ran around and like he would do things like giant ethereal bells would come down and kill everything. Like, it was nuts, man. Like,
I can't remember the name of that Forgotten Realms game that was on PS2, but you could create. I loved my monk in that game because then you could do different magic combinations where I had these acidic frost gloves. So when you punched it, it would freeze and then melt.
Nice.
Gross. Yeah.
I mean, even from 1st edition, monks are the most balanced in terms of everything. Their saves, their 2 hits, all that stuff. They're actually the most balanced out of the game. One of the most powerful, even though mage is potentially the most powerful character class in fantasy.
After listening to Bob explain to me how he plays a mage is by far the most powerful character class in fantasy.
A druid of equal level,
you get a higher than druid.
Yeah.
If I played a druid the way I played a mage, I would rule the world.
Because a druid literally
not in Ravnica.
No, a druid is actually more powerful level per level than actually a mage is. Because a mage casts a couple spells, he's fucked. A druid, he's got things to fall back on. He can polymorph
into
animal forms and eventually become a dire.
Didn't they get rid of that from the Druid though in 5th edition?
I don't know.
Wild shape out the walls.
You can? Okay. Yeah. I thought for some reason they took away their ability.
That would take one of its primary abilities completely out of it.
Yeah, it's in there and it's pretty awesome. I really entertain the notion of playing a Druid. You totally should.
You take a 25th level Grand Hierophant Druid versus one of the Dragon Tarrasques that Tim I'd put my money on the Druid every time.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Druids
against Dragon Tarrasque. In case anybody is curious who's out there listening, by the way, our friend Tim, who's DMing this campaign we're in right now, decided to come up with this amalgam of dragons mating with Tarrasques that we had to run from relentlessly.
And I told him from the bottom of my heart that I love you. I really do, Tim. You are my favorite people, but that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. It's fucking dumb. A Tarrasque is a Tarrasque. There's no way of being like, dude, it's like a Tarrasque with like a spoiler on it. No. That's a crab. It's a fucking Tarrasque. There's no way to make that like more scary. Like, and it's a dragon. You're like,
you can make it more scary because he gave it scales, a color, and a breath weapon.
It has a carapace that reflects spells and everything. I'm like, there's no more. And it's scaly. I don't care. Now it's like, and it's wearing a hat. Like,
there's a Tarrasque out there that is part demon, so you could have fought.
But
that
it couldn't be more. What would you add to Tarrasque that would be like,
breath weapon?
Oh shit, that's where the rubber meets the road.
Breath weapon.
If it's demon, the ability
it's a colossal motherfucker.
But now it's a colossal motherfucker that can cover you in acid.
That's not more. Like, it's already...
That is more.
There's no way to fucking kill it, and it just keeps coming. There's no way to kill it.
The only way to defeat it that you could get away from a Tarrasque in 3rd edition was anything that could fly. They couldn't fly. They fixed that by breeding it with a half-fiend and gave it wings. Yeah. Now you have a flying Tarrasque.
Yeah. And then, of course, I think the old way to get rid of it... I'm pretty sure the Tarrasque
just goes, you gotta land eventually.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll catch you when you're... And guess what? I've already ripped this realm a new asshole, so you got nowhere to land. There's like a tree to hide in.
He's got a barbecue spit set up. He's got the fire waiting. I'm just waiting, buddy. Yeah.
You're gonna get time. Unless you're going to space. You're not going to space.
I don't have a spell jammer. Well, shit. But, I mean, the Tarrasque originally, I think you had to take it to negative 30 hit points and then wish it dead
in one round.
And that only lasted for 30 years, and then it literally regenerated and comes back. So it hibernates for 30 years, comes back, fucks everything up, says thank you for lunch, and goes back to sleep. And then, maybe 30 years later comes back. But
how do you build a kingdom near that, knowing it's like, okay, well...
we got 30 years.
Castle. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like Final Fantasy X.
Every good run.
Every fucking 10 years, Sin comes back and kills everyone.
Right.
Fucking move. It's like Sam Kinison. You know what I tell people in the desert? Move where the fucking food is. You're in the desert.
You know what this is? This is sand. You know what's going to be here 100 years from now? Sand. Just repeating his bit. It's gold. It is.
But, I want to get back to character choice here for a second.
We tangent.
Yeah, we did. We do on occasion. No, I was just kind of curious what you guys think of, like, because you guys have all been continually playing since I moved away 20 years ago. I just picked it back up this last fall.
You're welcome.
Like when you guys...
No, we owe him gratitude. He's the reason why we're in this room together.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, it's Trent.
I'm awesome. You guys can all bow to my feet. I'm curious what you guys use whenever you want to pick a new character class. Because, I've been wrestling with the fact that I always end up playing clerics, which I'm tired of, so I decided not to do that anymore. I played a ranger this time around, which I'm really enjoying. I've never played DPS. I really enjoy playing a DPS character.
Well, that sorcerer you've got playing.
That's what I'm really interested in that one.
The damage is fucking amazing.
I'm really interested in playing the wild magic sorcerer just because and I'm really interested in playing it in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage because of just the random magical shit that can happen. And you combine my random magical effects with the random and magical effects of the dungeon, and it's going to be fun.
And if you combine that with John running Dungeon of the Mad Mage,
no.
I'm curious.
No.
I'm curious though how you guys determine a new character. What makes you play the characters that you play? You always play halfling.
I've played a lot of halflings.
I've only ever played with you playing a halfling.
Yeah. It's just for the initial character for our disembarking into a brand new era. I wanted to bring that back because my classic character that I kicked off with you guys was Blixa, and I never really got to play him much past a few levels. And so once I discovered what warlocks are in 5th, and I was so enamored of that idea of this halfling with a Fey Pact, and I could bring a little bit of that Blixa back, but with something wholly new. Like I get straight into the role-playing aspect of it, not so much the mechanics, although I totally recommend anybody who wants to play a warlock, give it a whirl. It is a fun character that is... Even within just Fey Pact warlocks, you could create countless different flavors. You know what I mean? Of the kind of character, just through spell choice alone. But it branches out into several others. I may just straight keep playing warlocks because of the way that the packs that you choose. And,
right.
Yeah. So that goes into it. And then secondary is the backstory and who the character is and what kind of a voice am I going to bring to it. I think when you sit at this table with me, you know that when I start playing Hugo, you're not dealing with Curtis anymore. The decisions that Hugo makes and the reactions, the voices he uses and things, I'm wholly into that. And that's just me personally. You know, you see me play another character, it's not going to be Hugo anymore.
Right. Like, Bob, what draws you to dwarves? And you usually... Actually, I've been seeing you play a lot of clerics and paladins and stuff like that lately. Normally, you're a tank and a fighter, but... Michelle loves to be the smashy now. So
hey, don't discount a dwarven cleric or paladin. Those are
I know he's become tank number 2.
Mm-hmm. He just can heal himself. Okay, I'm good.
Saving our ass.
I have played so many characters. I don't think there's any character class that I haven't played at this point. So to let everybody else play what they want, I pick up whatever the group needs.
Right on. So you just kind of were like, I'll just do whatever. Mm-hmm. Oh, cool.
I can play anything, any class.
But do you have a class that you would prefer to play every time?
Wizard.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You love playing that wizard, don't you?
The wizard or that druid.
Yeah.
Either one. By 5th level, I no longer need a party. I can do it all.
I'm going to make him write an article for the website about this. He sat down and described this to me one night about how, as a mage, you play a good bookkeeping wizard, how you can actually, the party is useless at 5th level. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And he broke it out for me, and I'm like, holy shit, you're fucking right. So I want him to write an article like Wizarding 101, dude. Like,
so the first 5 levels of wizard, you take all your money and you buy a really nice suit of armor and you give it to somebody else and you stand behind him. That's your
valid
job.
point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
After that, all your money goes into scrolls.
Yeah. Because didn't you say you spent 40 days in the tower writing scrolls or some shit like that?
And then I went adventuring and killed everything.
Gee, I think everybody forgets about that. Like, as
how many
wizard,
scrolls can you write in 40 days? You figured it out.
You can use all of your spell slots every day into scrolls.
John, how much does a scroll weigh?
It's a piece of paper.
In the rules, they don't weigh nothing, so you literally can carry. I wouldn't say infinite.
That becomes what's what I'm saying. That becomes a space issue, if not weight.
Yeah,
what the fuck is carrying?
But it's a piece of paper, dude.
You gotta have a pack.
But you buy a pack of printer paper from the store. That's 500 sheets.
That's what I'm saying.
That's 500 spells. I can carry that with one hand.
Yeah, I mean that literally weighs about a pound if you did that. But you're also
you're adventuring too. Like this is a space issue. This is also finding it.
Well,
that would not be a free action to reach into a shift of paper unless you
no.
Tabs in there. Like what do you?
No. That's where your scroll organizers and stuff.
I'm being a dick DM about this, but it is like.
But the scroll organizers absolutely let you do that as a free action. Yep. That's what they were for. You could hold up to 10 or 12 scrolls in a scroll case or whatever.
And it's waterproof.
Yeah, it's literally, that's what they're made for, is for doing that. So you can just go, okay, well, in the first 3 slots I have Fireball. Now, how many you can carry and everything like that, that would all depend on your DM. Because, see, this is stuff that the DM, as a game master, you have to put a cap on.
That's what just makes the wizard class so wonky to me. It's like, it's so intensive with that. You've got packs of scroll tubes. You've got the spell components themselves, because you're not always going to throw them out. And then you've got your spell book, which is one big clunky son bitch.
Well, now see,
That's
there's
just
two
your
different
shit.
spell books. You got your traveling spell book, which is literally just your
The pocket
basic
Bible, or what are you talking about?
No, that's literally
Are you
what it
fucking
is.
kidding me?
You have two different spell books. You have the one that you keep wherever the hell you call home, and then you have
Okay.
the one that you take with you to relearn your spells. Now, the one that you have with you usually is just the ones that you normally would carry or use during the course of an adventure, with a couple of alternates.
Can you suit Unseen Servant up in that suit of armor? I'm sorry, that just thought it occurred
I don't
to me.
believe so.
What was it?
No,
I think
Oh,
they
that
can
would
only,
be fucking
they can,
awesome.
They can only carry, I think, so much.
Right.
So,
But he has to fucking stand there. Just stand there.
what's your job? I just stand here. What do you do? I take the hits.
Wait, how long does Unseen Servant? Is it an hour?
Until he takes damage. So as soon as he took a single point of damage, he'd be toast.
But he's got the armor. You got to make the if it's full plate, then that's 18, right? Or no, 14. So shitty. Fuck.
Full plate is a 14?
It's 4, right? Or no, is it 8?
It's a
Okay, so 8. That's 8. That's 18. That's 18. And if you stand behind him, you got full coverage, right?
yes. I would have.
So that it's good for one shot, and then you just scurry somewhere else.
I'm going to go behind the cleric. What? Well, he
That's
can heal
not a
me just
bad
in
plan.
case.
We need to figure out if Unseen Servant can wear full plate.
Right.
Well, but you could always get yourself and hire somebody to animate skeleton permanently.
I'm saying if you're a wizard, well, dude, not every group is gonna clank around with a fucking skeleton. Like, what is that?
Are you kidding? Have you seen some of the shit they used to run with? Stuart.
Yeah.
Let me just say Stuart.
Oh, is that not popular when you're rolling into town? You got a beholder with you. There's no way.
No,
to
Stuart wasn't Beholder. That was
Lightning
Wilbur.
Golem.
What was he?
He was a golem.
He's
Stuart
a
was
lightning
What
golem.
kind of like a flesh?
He was an iron golem. I based it off of a glitter boy from Riffs. He was literally, he looked like that, and he had a special.
How big?
Well, an iron golem is approximately 12 foot tall.
How fucking much does that weigh?
A lot.
About 1,200
What if you needed a sea
pounds.
voyage? We gotta cross a fucking river, like.
And he was always good for a good cleanup because he could cast disintegrate like 3 times a day.
Hey, what level were you when you were adventuring?
Well, by that time you're like 15,
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, or somewhere high
okay,
level when
right.
Stuart started
He's just
running with us.
extra. He's not even like
he was an extra at the time, but
Right.
I mean,
Stuart. That's great.
Yeah, he was
We
basically
had
like
a leprechaun with us that could cast Wish.
Yeah.
All from 10th level on. So
yeah, to Williker, he sometimes helped. A
Yeah.
lot of times he just sat there and laughed.
Most of the time,
Or I'll bash you with my shillelagh. I love that idea of the leprechaun. That's
most of the
awesome.
time he sat back and laughed at us while we got absolutely ass fucked. But every once in a while he would jump in there and help.
him and Shimmer used to have conversations. So
Yeah.
which one do you think is going to die today? I bet on the dwarf. No, you like the dwarf. Well, he does give me beef. Well, that's true. So, they would just sit there and talk during the course of the battle, and, every once in a while, Shimmer would get mad and call Mom.
You won't find this in any module.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
That's why if you have a DM like John, hold on to that motherfucker. Buy him fucking snacks. Do what you can to fucking keep him around. Because not everybody can do this. And I
It
think
takes cheese, crackers, and an endless supply of Coca-Cola.
Pepsi, actually.
I
more
don't
Pepsi.
care if it's caffeine. Put it on the table. We're good.
Bubba Cola. He's in.
I drink Bubba Cola all the time.
Me too. I ain't no fucking.
Exactly.
Ain't no shame in my game.
No elitist here, man.
79 cents. I'm sold.
It beats the shit out of Faygo Cola for some
Yeah.
reason. I like the other flavors
Fuck
of Faygo,
Faygo.
but the Faygo's Cola is like
Fuck
what?
Faygo right in its shitty fucking
All of
soda
it?
flavor, dude.
Rock and Rye is pretty good,
Fucking,
man.
I hate Faygo, man.
All of it.
I can't stand it. It's fucking terrible. It's like drinking a fucking glass full of sugar water. It's terrible. It doesn't even taste
In a
good.
Red Pop. You don't think that their Red Pop is
No,
good?
fuck that. No. If I
right.
want something shitty and ghetto, I drink Fanta.
Oh yeah.
Like Fanta orange, that's perfect. But
Right.
fuck Faygo.
have you tried Save-A-Lot strawberry pop?
I have not.
Oh God, dude.
Is it
No.
sugary?
It's ass.
Hey, actually that's funny.
Horrible.
My first trip into one of those mega adult stores in Vegas. There's a tube, and it was a ridiculous, like, industrial-sized tube of cherry-flavored anal lube. Wait a minute. Hold on. First of all, here's something. I have some questions. One, why is it specifically anal? Like, aren't lubes just universal for... You're going to insert somewhere close and then make it moist. Like, that's the idea of lube, right? No, anal. Big letters. Bang.
Right.
ANAL. Cherry flavored anal lube. Hold on. Wait a minute. It's for this spot specifically, right?
Right. Why do you want to make
now it's going to be cherry. What do you mean cherry? If you're willing to put your mouth there, fuck you. Don't care what it tastes like. You know. You're like, it's not going to like, it's like a starburst. No.
I prefer watermelon.
You know, your mouth's on ass. Like, fuck the cherry thing. It's not even helping fool you. You know what I mean? You know what you're doing.
Well, we went off the rails there a little bit.
Yeah, that took a dark turn. I'm sorry.
I believe Michelle is crying.
It should be honest.
This all bored of like somehow he got the snacks soda pop. No, wait, Curt, where are you going? Somehow he's at a porn store.
Right turn, Clyde. Right turn.
Right. Yeah.
But anyhow, well, yeah. What's next?
John, character selection. You have gotten to play, and you've played some pretty fantastical characters.
You do always seem to lean towards the roguish types, though.
Nightshade.
Well, yeah. He was a bounty hunter, but then again, I was playtesting stuff that was supposed to be NPCs, like Beastmaster, before Beastmaster became a thing, and Nightshade was a bounty hunter before it became a thing. So those were all from Dungeon Magazine or Dragon Magazine back in the day, way back in the day. So I usually lean towards humans, really, because everybody else usually plays elves, dwarves, halflings, and stuff. And most of the time over the years, as I've gamed and watched, a lot of times, especially in 2nd edition, a lot of y'all that played demi-humans didn't use all your abilities. Elves were one of the bigger ones, passing doors and noticing stuff, or just a lot of their other little fluff that they came out with during like the Elves of Evermeet and some of the other complete book of elves and stuff like that. But
Summon Adamantite Dragon. Still can't find that spell or the stats for it.
yeah, that's true too.
You could summon an adamantite dragon.
Elven High Magic. It was in the book, but they never gave you stats for it. They never gave you stats for an Adamantite Dragon.
Maybe it doesn't exist. It's just a myth.
It was a 10th level spell. It was
10th? Wow, yeah.
There was very
So he
few
doesn't
10th
exist.
level
That's right. Yeah,
spells.
I always forget. First, from 10th level, I keep forgetting that spells are different than character.
Like at 9th level spells was the top of the line.
Yeah.
During the Elves of Evermeet, I think a couple of things that came out afterwards, they included 10th level magic. I mean, these were things that were just
Right.
from the the Adamantite Dragon. Yeah, that was an army killer. Oh, really? Well, fuck you and your entire region, you call that, and it's done.
There was stats for it initially. It was in the first Draconomicon, and his breath weapon was Time Stop. They took it out of print and pissed me off.
I can't even find the book half the time. I'm looking for it, but.
So why do you lean towards the roguish types? Every time I've ever played with you, you've played some sort of.
I've played Rangers. I've played or built nearly everything in almost every race.
Right.
I mean, hell,
So you've done a half ogre swashbuckler?
No, but just because there's certain things that I don't. That's one line that I don't cross.
It's not whole ass ogre. It's half ogre.
Yeah, half ogre.
The
You
other
like
half?
song? No. Crunch. You like song? Yes.
Ogres don't have songs.
Have you ever heard an ogre sing?
I didn't say they were good songs.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
everybody's got songs, man.
I'm talking swashbuckler, not bard.
Yeah. Swashbucklers can sing if you want them to. They got perform.
Oh yeah, swashbuckler. I guess I don't know enough about swashbuckler.
Basically-
What is a
Three Mus-
swashbuckler?
No.
Fucking not pirate. Fucking three musketeers.
Literally, the original swashbucklers. That's literally how they were first
The
done.
scariest fucking swashbuckler ever is a half ogre swashbuckler.
Exactly. Come, D'Artagnan, we're saving the king. Oh,
I ate the king. I'm sorry.
So now,
Somebody took a great sword and kind of made it into a scimitar.
Like a rapier.
Yeah, you imagine that? Holy shit!
What am I doing with toothpick?
What weapon do they wield? Just clubs?
What? Ogre?
Well, it's half ogre.
Well, even half ogres. If it depends on where the half ogres are raised. If they're raised around humans, they'll pick up human tendencies. If they're raised by ogres, they're going to lean towards the ogre's part. So if an ogre uses a big ass two-handed club, that's what he's walking through the streets with. If he's raised by a bunch of humans that favor a sickle, he's going to pick up his father's scythe and use it. And it's just how they're raised. But back to the question of why I play roguish, because most of the time, not very many people play like a dark half. And you noticed that in the last game of what I do. Well,
by dark half, you mean asshole?
Yes.
No, I'm just more selfish than the rest of you bastards. I just don't hide it.
That's an asshole.
Yeah.
It's an ass hat. Get it right.
And I wear it with pride.
You act like there's some nebulous reason why nobody does this.
Yeah,
it's because it's a dick move. Period.
Because I don't want to be that guy. That's why.
I
don't know why nobody does this. You engender the hatred of an entire group. Fracture it without repair,
Right.
No, I helped save the town and got you where you need to go.
He did help considerably.
Did I not?
I was the first to actually stick up for you.
Yeah. Well, I just don't necessarily. I like playing something that plays outside of the bounds of most of the law. Now, my whole purpose, a lot of times when I do it, is to challenge the other players. I really do. I like to see how other players try to interact with that, or how to curb how I do things. We had a cleric, and I believe you're lawful good, allow me to cut the fingers off of somebody. Didn't really step in.
I did throw you in jail.
He did.
Well, after the fact. But what I'm saying, though, is a lot of things that I did, a lot of you guys could have convinced him to do
How many criminals
otherwise.
do you arrest before?
Don't look at me when you say you guys. I was God.
No, but your character was there being played by others, too.
Yeah, not by me.
And some
I would've shot you.
And some actually agreed with me. Thank you, Minotaur. Yes, you did. Don't try to lie and back out of it now. You were like, okay. And I'm like, all right, I got one approval. I'm good. But
I think we all spoke as a group when we stayed and tried to put the fire out and tried to make good on it. While you walked the fuck away. Like, fuck them.
Well,
I think that spoke volumes.
But I like to challenge the people that I'm with when I'm traveling a lot of times, just because I want to see how, I guess, adhere to certain tenets of their codes. And I sometimes do that as a DM. I'll throw situations in to where, what's the greater of two evils? What's going to happen? And sometimes that makes usually our friend Randy plays paladins, holy times. And see how they act. Some of the group will go.
You made him play a paladin. He was playing a Kender.
He was playing a Kender, and you hate Kenders.
No. He was playing a paladin that got turned into a Kender. He was a Kender with the heart of a paladin.
You turned him into a Kender into a paladin with the heart of a Kender.
Because he got reincarnated because he died.
No, you had him grab that orb of might.
That was how he died. And then I remember that because...
Right, because you hate Kenders.
No. I don't hate Kenders.
He looked at me and smiled.
I hate halflings and gnomes. I hate them. But no, I try to see how people will play their ethos, because certain things that you do is going to have an adverse effect eventually. But Randy was always pretty good at retaining his ethos, even at the cost of some of the groups. Like, what are you doing? Well, we need to give this back to them. We kind of stole that for a reason. Right. You got to give it back. So I still do that as a player character. When I play, I like to challenge people.
That's so funny, because Bob was like, I take a read of the group and I kind of figure out where I'm missing and what I can fit in. And John was like, hey, I'm going to play a character that just takes the table and flips it over and watch this. Fuck this. I think that's a good place to stop as any. John, thank you for joining us. I hope you're convinced to return and do this again, because I really enjoyed hearing these stories and I'd like to hear more.
Yeah, it'd be great. Like whenever Tim comes back, get you back here and we'll do a 5-man.
Right.
5-man shuffle.
What?
Well, that's it for this installment of the Lunatic Parade Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to middle-aged white guys shoot their mouth off about nerdy crap. See you next week.